Happy Wednesday, 5th graders. Let's review our animal idioms. Cat got your tongue? This is used to refer to a time when someone has nothing to say. A situation in which someone is finding it hard to say anything in their defense. An eager beaver is a person who is willing to work very hard. Today's idiom, fish out of water. Fish out of water. Literally, we have here a fish out of water. A fish out of water literally is a detrimental situation. This is bad. The fish may not survive. So similarly, a fish out of water is also a person in a bad situation. So a person who feels awkward or unhappy because they are in a situation that is not familiar, or because they are different from the people around them. So then they're a fish out of water when this happens. When you're feeling when you're in a situation that's awkward or unhappy, you feel out of place, you're different from people around you, you're a fish out of water. Leo is being shunned for being with Stargirl. He feels like a fish out of water. Okay? So you might, when you go to 6th grade, be a fish out of water because everything's new, right? You're going to meet new kids. The situation will be different. You'll have more teachers. You'll have to transition from class to class. So you might feel like a fish out of water at first, but then it'll get better. Let's say you move to a new school. You're a fish out of water. You join a new team. You've been on a certain team and then you move up. You might feel like a fish out of water at first. Or in this case, perhaps, like it's usually sort of negative here, as we can see. So when you're unhappy, let's say you have to move with your cousins for a while, and so you're feeling like you're a fish out of water. We're working on the prefix semi, which means half, a semifinal, right? One of two sports teams whose winners then compete against each other to decide who wins a whole competition. A semicircle is half a circle. Semisweet, semisweet. Sentence. It is common to use semisweet chocolate chips in cookies so that they aren't too sweet. What does semisweet mean? It means half sweet. Semisweet chocolate is only slightly sweet and has a darker color than milk chocolate. So it's just slightly sweet. It's a little bit sweet. So sometimes we use the prefix semi, not just to mean half, but when it means like a little bit of, when it has some of the characteristics. So as an example, if I say, oh, yesterday was Monday and I was semi-sleepy still. That means I was a little bit sleepy still, wasn't quite awake. So it doesn't have to be exactly half, but we use actually this prefix a lot when we mean that we have a little bit of that characteristic. So if you're semi-skilled in baking, that means you're sort of good at it. Maybe you're still learning. You're not like 100% good at it. You're still learning, so you're sort of good at it. Okay, so you might encounter that in the Google form in a question. I'm going to ask you about something else being like you could be semi-sleepy, you might be semi-conscious, you might be I could say I'm semi-awake, so I'm almost awake, not quite. We are working on the Greek root astro, which means star. Astronomy is a scientific study of stars and planets. An astronomer is a scientist who studies stars and planets. Astrology is the study of the positions and movements of the stars and how they influence people and events. So today we have the word astronomical, astronomical. Astronomical prices, costs, etc. are extremely high. So this is related to astro because if something has a high price or a high cost, it's as high as the sky. We could say these prices are as high as the sky. They're astronomical. So we know that the sky is really high up, and so we think of it as being far-reaching. So here's a visualization. This is a gas station showing its prices. Gas prices are astronomical, so we won't take a road trip this summer. So this just means gas prices are really high, so we won't take a road trip this summer. So if you want to say something is really high, if something is extremely costly, you can say this word astronomical. It sounds better than saying high because you can tell it's like, out of this world, it's out in space, it's really far, far, far. Leo is paying an astronomical price by being with Stargirl because no one is talking to him. So he's paying a high price and he has to make a decision and figure out what to do because he's a fish out of water and he's in this like awkward place and he doesn't really know what to do. So astronomical, we can say, that prices of everything have been a bit more astronomical during the pandemic as people try to make up what they lost. So astronomical prices, costs, etc. All right, and then we're continuing to work on similes when we compare two or more things that are different in most ways but are the same in one important way. Don't forget that they have the word like or as. And so let's practice one here. Mario's fingers were like icicles. What's being compared? To his fingers and icicles, saying that they're both cold. So you're going to practice that as you work on the two questions, comparing similes and metaphors and thinking about what exactly is being compared. Awesome job, fifth graders.